Wonderful moment this, Trevor Brooking, with the anticipation building up before the biggest game of the year.
Well, Alex Ferguson looked very keen, didn't he, to get his side out there. Probably these few minutes are the worst for any player, because you've done your exercises, warm-ups, and now you just want to get out of that dressing room and sample that atmosphere and the noise that hits you as you walk out of the tunnel. And then hopefully any nerves that are there at present, and I'm sure they are, will gradually dispel.
Yes, and the opposite manager having a peer out the door there. He, of course, Glenn Hoddle, the player manager, not the first to be in this position in a cup final. Kenny Dalglish, 1986, led Liverpool to the double, of course, as a player manager. But here come Chelsea. We'll talk more later about the number of foreign players that Desmond Lynam mentioned. I make it 14 out of the 22 who start are non-English, but look at that reception for an Englishman who played for his country 90 times and who has been here as captain of Manchester United and received the FA Cup, Brian Robson, on 3 occasions. But today, the modern team, out of their dressing room, all such well-known names, and Paul Ince, superstitiously, never puts on his shirt until he's just about ready to face the crowd. Eric Cantona, what has he got in store for us today? What have the teams got in store for us today? It's the perfect mix for a cup final on paper. South versus North, 2 popular clubs with class players. And they get the finest of receptions. These pictures, as ever, being watched all over the world. And we're pleased to be joined on a day like this by so many football fans from so many other countries who enjoy their cup final courtesy of the BBC pictures. 62 countries today watching these scenes. Her Royal Highness the Duchess being brought forward by Sir Bert Millerchip on the right, chairman of the FA, and Graham Kelly, the chief executive, behind. And an umbrella is suitably produced for Her Royal Highness and much needed as we stand for the national anthem. in strict alphabetical order. It's Chelsea first, as the teams are presented to Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Kent, who's been such a supporter of the cup final in recent years. She's been almost a regular, in fact, and Dennis Wise, the Chelsea captain, taking her down the line. No need to worry about the Jonssons and the Kjellbergs meeting our royal family. They speak perfect English. Few words for little Mark Steen and Gavin Peacock. Chelsea's joint scoring partnership, top scorers, John Spencer. They are small, as Desmond said, these Chelsea forwards, aren't they? And so across to meet the team attempting the double, Steve Bruce.
Chelsea all in blue, Manchester United in the red shirts and white shorts, and it's Chelsea who'll get the 113th FA Cup final underway. Chelsea winners only once, back in 1970. Manchester United, remember, are going for equaling the record number of victories. Clark gets an early touch for them, and the first throw-in of the game to Chelsea, who finished 14th in the Premiership, a massive 42 points behind Manchester United. And indeed, at Christmas time, they were second from bottom and facing the real possibility of relegation. But the second half of the season for Chelsea has been absolutely outstanding. United's season has been outstanding virtually from the first kick to the last. Ball given away there by Clark, but one back on the left by young Sinclair. Parker's header clear, and Chelsea get the throw, which Frank Sinclair himself will take. Glenn Hoddle was at this stadium a year ago when he was player manager of Swindon, and guided them to success in the playoff final in a memorable match against Leicester. He scored one of the goals himself, in fact, in Swindon's win. Sinclair again for Chelsea. He's got pace, this boy, and a decent little ball as well. And they've got players in the middle, and it come back to Sinclair. It was a good block challenge by Ince to deny him. But the first moment of real danger falling to Chelsea as Giggs breaks away quickly for Manchester United and is upended. That was a very crude challenge by Erling Jonsson. And the referee, in fact, has immediately acted by reaching for the yellow card. And that will certainly set the tone as far as players' discipline is concerned, and I don't think he can complain about that one, Ray.
No, he certainly can't. Ryan Giggs was in full pace there. The way he can destroy. Look how he goes past him. He's knocked the ball past, and there Jonsson is so late that certainly he can't complain about getting that yellow card. And if it had been in a more central position, it might have been even worse.
Yes, David Ellery is certainly amongst the stricter referees in English football. He won't hesitate to use the red card if necessary. Only one player has ever been sent off in an FA Cup final, and that was a Manchester United player, Kevin Moran. Here's Kanchelskis for them. The cross deep towards Cantona. Driven back in by Keane. Ince keeps possession for Manchester United and gets it again. Keane stretching to just keep that in play and wins the first corner of the game. Well, in fact, I think the referee is indicating it crossed the line just this side of the corner. In fact, it did, yes. It's a throw. Newton, who conceded it, marking tightly in the penalty area as Cantona gets possession and lays a good-looking ball off to the captain, Bruce. Cantona again. Good ball into the box. Hughes doing well to hold it up. And Chelsea scramble it, only half clear. Good early pressure from United. Pallister tries the shot, and a player who's not exactly noted for his goal-scoring ability finds the crowd.
Well, certainly so far, in these opening few minutes, it's Manchester United who have really settled down, and really Chelsea, even when they've had a chance to clear their lines, they haven't done it constructively. They've sort of kicked it anywhere and given it straight back to United, and it's at the moment Chelsea who are looking the more nervous of the two sides, but it's early days yet.
Well, strangely enough, that first moment of panic almost was in the Manchester United goal mouth, Ray.
Yes, true enough, but it was a very, very positive run by Frank Sinclair, which caused the problem in the first place. And in fact, if Sinclair had left the ball when it eventually came in the box, John Spencer was stood right behind him with a clear-cut shooting opportunity.
Pallister for Manchester United. Bruce has time to walk it forward and find Parker. One back by Jonsson, but Ince is there onto it, pouncing onto the loose ball and finding Hughes. Kanchelskis on the right will try and take on Sinclair and use his considerable pace, but this young Chelsea defender is quick as well. It's only 22, and he knows he'll face a very stiff test of his pace today against Kanchelskis.
Well, I think if there's one person who possibly can match Kanchelskis' pace at the moment, it's young Frankie Sinclair, because the one thing he is very, very quick.
Parker. Cantona with a lovely little layoff. Keane plays it forward. Giggs almost got between the two defenders, but again Sinclair shows his pace and his tactical awareness in being in the right place. Kanchelskis sent off on his last visit to Wembley in the League Cup final in the dying moments of that game when he deliberately handled the ball on his own line, and there was a deliberate handball by Parker in a rather less serious situation. Just the free kick goes against him. It's Manchester United's 9th visit to Wembley Stadium in the last 5 seasons, a tremendous record, and they're certain to be back, of course, for the Charity Shield at the beginning of next season as champions, irrespective of what happens here. Strong challenge by Pallister, which the referee didn't like, on Spencer. Chelsea's free kick. Quite a difference in height between those two. Pallister must be 6'2", and little John Spencer, as I mentioned before the kickoff, only about 5'4", and it's displayed there in that picture of them together. Pallister won't have any problems in the air with him today. And it's the United centre-back who gets that one away. Irwin's clearance to Hughes. That's good play by Hughes, because he was facing his own goal then and had Kilberg right in behind him. Holds the ball up so well in those situations, Hughes. Arguably better than any player in the game in England. Pallister again. Keane making a break in the inside right position for him. This time Hughes' layoff wasn't accurate, and Keane's tackle on Peacock has brought another free kick to Chelsea. And Keane had a word with the referee, who in turn had a word with him, sporting almost a Gallic-looking beard to match Monsieur Cantona. Here's Clark for Chelsea. Tried to find Steen again. United's defenders are almost certain to win any aerial battle today. Peacock, Steen and Spencer are all small but very quick strikers. If the ball's played on the ground, they'll give United far more problems. Irwin on the right foot, wallops one forward, and Giggs is onto it. Good work though by the defender Jonsson. And he marks tightly again in the area as it's played across from United's throw. Wise has given it away. Keane. Parker moves intelligently infield. He finds Hughes, a good layoff back again. Sinclair just got a foot to it though. And that's Chelsea's throw. 8 minutes gone here in the FA Cup final. We're still awaiting the first goal between Chelsea and Manchester United. And that looked like a foul by Bruce, but the referee didn't see it that way on Spencer. Young Scotsman, just 23, who's had to wait some time for his regular first-team opportunity at Stamford Bridge. Steen moving forward onto the through ball. Pallister read it well. Spencer battling. but Bruce is there for United again. Now Keane to Giggs. On it goes to Parker. Kanchelskis on the right. No foul, says the referee. And Wise plays it immediately forward to Steen, who couldn't keep possession, disappointingly, for Chelsea. Well, I think we've already developed the pattern that this game is going to follow, with Manchester United enjoying most of the possession and Chelsea trying to counter-attack. Here's Irwin for United. Ince. Pallister forward. Keane finds Irwin again. And Keane's run into trouble here. And this is where Chelsea can be effective. Steen, he has Spencer up ahead of him. Support arriving too from Wise. Steen tried to take two defenders on, and that was certainly one too many in the end.
Well, Paul Ince did so well then, because certainly Steen looked dangerous then running at Pallister, but Pallister stood on his feet and allowed Ince to get back and make a 2-against-1 situation and managed to nullify what looked a very dangerous situation.
Burley playing the cross in, which Pallister heads away. Newton back in again. Clark trying to get the shot in, and the whistle has gone for a free kick to Manchester United. Foul on Ince, I think. Recently signed a new 6-year contract, Paul Ince, and most of the Manchester United players have done so in the last few weeks. Peter Schmeichel here, I gather, is one exception. Gavin Peacock, whose goals have helped to get Chelsea to this stage. He scored 6 in the FA Cup so far. And of course scored the goals which beat Manchester United home and away in the Premiership. The only club to have done that this season. 2 victories against Manchester United. Can they make it a third today? There's a tremendous through ball to Kanchelskis, but his great friend Dimitri Karin comes sprinting off his line to win it back for Chelsea. Burley and field to Newton. Wise finds Burley again. Steen and Spencer in the box. It's a bit too high for Spencer. And in trying to keep it in, he's inadvertently given it away again to Cantona. Hughes. Newton getting back to clear. Now Clark. Ooh, Giggs almost whipped it off the Chelsea man's toe then. But Chelsea have survived. Peacock for that. Wise again. Well, certainly, Ray, Chelsea are not going to see that much of the ball, it seems, today. They can't afford to waste possession as they did then.
No, they can't afford to. I mean, obviously they've set their stall out very similar to Aston Villa when Aston Villa came here against Manchester United in the Coca-Cola Cup, whereas they're going to sit back, soak up what Manchester United can throw at them, and hopefully hit them on the break. The only difference in the 2 games is that Aston Villa literally played with 1 sole attacker and 5 in the middle of the field. Here Chelsea are trying to play with 2 attackers, but occasionally, if needs be, one will drop off and help in the middle of the field to try and nullify Manchester United's superior power in there.
Chelsea get it back with some determination. Burley for them. Looking to hit Spencer with the early ball. It was well read by Keane. Alex Ferguson wondering if his side can capitalise on all this possession. Their captain Bruce with the long ball forward. Giggs made a good run then, but it never reached him. Now Wise, the captain of Chelsea, releases an excellent ball. Steen. Burley in support. Pulls it back again to Wise. They've had 13 minutes of the FA Cup final, and it's still 0-0 here at Wembley Stadium. Well, if Alex Ferguson was looking relaxed beforehand, I have to say he doesn't look relaxed at the moment. He's gone on record as saying that apart from honouring the memory of Sir Matt Busby, of course, died earlier this year, the double in itself doesn't mean a great deal to him, but I'm sure he was just trying to take the pressure off his players in saying that. And certainly will mean an awful lot to him to go down in Manchester United's history as the only manager to get that unique achievement. And indeed, they would become only the fourth club this century to complete the double, after Spurs, Arsenal and Liverpool. Giggs turning away from his man brilliantly. Great run here by Giggs. Hughes couldn't quite force it back to him. Now Spencer for Chelsea with a good turn. He was caught by Ince, but it was a good tackle. And then Spencer went in very determined fashion on Irwin. Good play, though, by Manchester United, looking very, very relaxed and confident on the field. It's become like a second home to them, Wembley Stadium. And they've played so well this season that you can just feel the confidence oozing from their players. Kanchelskis has got himself offside, though.
Yes, they do look in control of the game at the moment. The way that Chelsea are playing does mean that when the ball goes up to the front players, they've got to hold on to it long enough to allow the midfield to join. And on most occasions so far, when the ball has gone up to Steen or up to Spencer, the ball has been miscontrolled, or United have won it, and it's put the possession right back in Manchester United's favour again. So the front players for Chelsea have got to do a little bit better when the ball's played up there.
And that point perfectly illustrated as Pallister won it back for Manchester United, and sets them going forward with Kanchelskis. That took a little deflection off the defender, that cross. Karine did well to read it, to the delight of the Chelsea fans, most of whom will not remember, I suspect, their last appearance in an FA Cup final here, which was their only win back in 1970 when they beat Leeds United after a replay, ironically enough, at Old Trafford, the home of Manchester United. Spencer turns it forward for Chelsea. Good defending from Pallister. Parker. They're also composed on the ball, these Manchester United players. But Chelsea win it back with Wise. Spencer, good challenge by Bruce, but it comes to Sinclair, whose cross was never likely to test Peter Schmeichel. But he's a strong and quick lad, Frank Sinclair, and has made a good start here.
He has, he's done well, because most of the season he's played as a centre-back, and it's really coincide when going to left-back, it's coincided with that Chelsea's back four have conceded less goals in the last dozen games than they probably have done for most of the season. So he is very quick and he's very tenacious, wins his tackles. If there is a slight problem with him, it's when he gets forward. Occasionally he's a little bit erratic with his passing of the ball, but he certainly is a defender and a player you'd want in your side because of his will to win and his pace and the way that he can tackle.
The England manager Terry Venables, pen in hand, making notes on future potential England internationals, perhaps. England with two friendly internationals coming up in the next week. Ince gets it forward to Cantona, and he's on to the return ball and finds Hughes. Good football this, Ince again, and now Hughes, still Ince is in there. A good tackle to win it back by Wise. Newton gets it forward quickly to Peacock. Spencer. Manchester United's tackling very crisp indeed. Well, that's not the word I suspect that the referee would use about the challenge at the moment. I thought that was a good tackle, I have to say, by Bruce. The referee and certainly the Chelsea players disagree. Ray, what do you think?
Well, it's that sort of day when there's sort of greasy surface where it encourages the sliding tackle. And I felt there that the two of them made contact at the same time, and it looked to be a fair tackle, although I think with the World Cup coming up, and here we see it now, the ball played through, and I just actually wonder, it's a very, very close thing. Next season that sort of tackle will be outlawed, I'm sure, the tackle from behind, but it appears to me that he did make contact with the ball and the man, but I don't think John Spencer would probably agree with me.
No, but he's a tough little lad himself, the Scot, and he's taken his fair share of knocks because of his size. invariably plays against bigger defenders. I wouldn't think he's ever come up against a smaller defender anyway. But the referee has been consistent. Johnson was booked for his challenge on Giggs, now Bruce for his on Spencer. Caution for each side then here in the opening, what have we had now, 18 minutes play. Still no goals. Newton for Chelsea. Again, he couldn't make the most of possession, but he slides in to win it back and find Burley. He'll be hoping for a corner out of this at least. And that's what they've got. Good play there by Craig Burley, the young Scotsman, to set things up for them. It's Chelsea's first corner of the game. And Johnson is a potential danger in the air here. And Wise is one of the most accurate crosses of a ball in the English game. If he gets this right, Manchester United might have a problem. But no, they haven't, because Bruce came to meet the ball first. The FA Cup final nearly always blessed with sunshine and warm weather, but it's far from that today. However, the players won't be complaining. Perfect weather to play, I would think. And that nice little slick on the top of the pitch as Burley gets a dangerous cross in. Pallister's clearance. Peacock. Given away to Giggs, though, who in turn presents it back to Newton. Sinclair on Chelsea's left. That's a poor ball. Straight to Ince. Now Hughes. On it goes towards Giggs. Oh, that was a timely interception by Clark. Good run by the Scottish fullback. And now Peacock for Chelsea. Irwin deflects his clearance. Pallister's there to help out. Wasn't an easy ball, that one, for Irwin. And Peacock concedes the throw. 20 minutes gone. 0-0. Chelsea against Manchester United. Manchester United have played 61 games in all competitions this season and won, incredibly, 40 of them, drawn 15, just 6 defeats, and have already clinched their second successive championship, winning 4 of their last 5 games to kill off the challenge by Blackburn Rovers. Free kick here to Chelsea, or has the referee decided it's a throw? Yes, throw it is, which Clark will take. And there's one happy fan. He'd be happier still if Chelsea can convert this attack into a goal. Sinclair for them. But again, the accuracy wasn't there. He gets it back, though. Then the little flick by Peacock. Gets it back into his path. Oh, and that was a chance, certainly, for Steen as he came steaming into the near post area. It was a good cross.
Yes, I think there was a slight misunderstanding between Bruce and Schmeichel there as well when the ball came in, because in my mind it looked as though Bruce was going to clear it. Here we see it, and it looks like Bruce might have left it thinking Schmeichel's going to get it, and Steen was in very, very quickly. It was only a half chance. It would have taken a very, very delicate touch to have scored from there, but just a slight little waver in the United defence there.
Yes, that'll give Chelsea renewed hope, I'm sure, after seeing Manchester United dominate possession for this opening 20 minutes. But again, they've been rather wasteful with the ball then. Little Steen there in the bottom of the picture, who had that half chance, as Ray accurately described it, playing only his second game back after an ankle injury, which he suffered playing against Manchester United back in March. And he's missed 2 months. So it's a long time out, and therefore a bit of a gamble by Glenn Hoddle to play him today. He's only had that 1 game back when Hoddle picked him against Sheffield United last week, and he rewarded him with 2 goals, which incidentally meant that Sheffield United were relegated. Steen making a run again here as Clark has possession for Chelsea. Keane wins it back for United. Well, we've had the first 20 minutes now, and teams traditionally are just a little cautious. Obviously, no one wants to take risks and throw the game away in that vital opening period. There's a great through ball for Kanchelskis, who's onto it like lightning. Karine down at his feet. And Sinclair was almost matching Kanchelskis stride for stride anyway. Foul by Keane, who claims he won the ball. Interesting variation there, Manchester United, with all crossfield passing. Suddenly released the long ball for Kanchelskis, and Karin had to be quick to avert danger.
Well, it's certainly part of their play, delivering diagonal balls like that, because certainly we've seen Kanchelskis make that run just then, but also on a couple of occasions earlier in the first 20 minutes, we've seen Lee Sharp do it from the left-hand side, come in off that line and look for the ball play through there to try and pick it up.
Cantona dispossessed by Newton, good ball to Spencer. Chance for Steen then. Pallister to United's rescue. Burley turns it back in, but it wasn't a good cross, and that was the best chance we've had yet. And strangely enough, it all came because Cantona was dispossessed. Now here goes Steen. Irwin cleverly got across him in the box, and Steen fouled him, so the danger is over for Manchester United. But that was danger, Ray.
It certainly was, and you actually wonder, here we can see Spencer coming through, you actually wonder if Schmeichel should have come there, because certainly it looked to me as though Bruce would be able to get back on Spencer, but Schmeichel came, managed to get half a block on it, but I thought that actually Bruce would have dealt with that situation maybe better than Schmeichel would have done, but Pallister was there to clear the danger in the end, but certainly that will certainly give Chelsea some hope.
Cantona has not really done himself justice in his big appearances here for Manchester United so far, and he's made a very slow start to this game as well. It was him getting caught in possession that led to that Chelsea attack. Well, he so desperately wants to perform well on the big stage. The big stage you would think was perfectly made for the Players' Player of the Year. But so far, he's not really come to life. So for all Manchester United's possession, it's Chelsea who have created the greatest danger so far. And here they go again with Peacock. Brilliant effort! Oh my word, how unlucky that would have been. One of the great Wembley goals if that had gone in. And Peacock, the man whose goals have beaten Manchester United twice in the league already this season, almost give Chelsea a goal start then. What a brilliant effort. But Manchester United try and win it back straight away, but Chelsea are having a great little spell here. That was desperately unlucky for them and Peacock. Here's Burley, on to Clark. Chelsea buzzing at the moment, but Giggs dispossesses Clark. And now there's a gap left behind, which Keane races into. This is Irwin. Roy Keane. The layoff by Cantona wasn't good enough. Mind you, nor was that ball. United have it again. Parker, Kanchelskis on the flank. Sinclair comes to meet him immediately, and he's gone round him, or has he? Well, he found more opposition in the form of Steen when he did get round Sinclair. Now Hughes trying to lay it off again, back into Kanchelskis. Parker for Manchester United. Cantona wants it played in high, but not that high. And now I think we might get the opportunity to look back on what has been certainly the nearest we've had to a goal so far. Ray.
This is a great touch there with his right foot, and as it dropped, left foot volley, dipping volley. Schmeichel no chance, nowhere near it, and so unlucky there. That really was top-class skill. Managed to dip it over the top, just like a coat of paint there as he's stroking the ball there. It really was a great strike with his left foot, and so unlucky, but he's capable of doing that, Gavin Peacock. People say he's not the paciest player in the world, but certainly as a finisher, if you give him opportunities in and around the box, he'll score goals.
Well, Chelsea have perhaps got their, shall we say, respect for Manchester United out of their systems now. It was almost they were a little bit in awe early on, but now they've settled into the match. They're playing well and looking every bit as good as United at the moment. And really, if you count the early cross into United's box, which was cleared, then the half chance to Steen and that effort by Peacock against the bar, Chelsea have created the most dangerous openings, without doubt. Ince finds Giggs, though, as Manchester United go forward. Cantona back to Ince. Good play. Kanchelskis. Decent-looking cross. Hughes gets up well. Johnson gets it clear. Now Keane. Parker in support. Giggs has gone into a great position, but he just fails to find him. Great awareness there by Giggs to move into the space. Here's Burley moving forward for Chelsea now. Clark, Wise. Great little run by Spencer, but he couldn't find him. Wise hasn't quite got his passing game together yet, the Chelsea skipper. Ince for United, drives it long. Too long does it happen. Johnson with the clearance. Now Peacock. Needs someone to get the ball down here. Free kick to Manchester United. Peacock's foul on Kanchelskis. He was Glenn Hoddle's first major signing, Gavin Peacock, and has certainly proved to be a very effective one. Kanchelskis has been equally effective for United, and they were delighted to announce earlier this week that he's just signed a new 5-year deal that will keep him at Old Trafford till 1999. Gary Pallister. Irwin. And good marking here by Chelsea. There's hardly a red shirt in any space. Parker to Cantona. Johnson is with him. And he cuts inside to Kanchelskis. Good challenge, though, to dispossess him by Wise. Now Peacock, Spencer and Steen, the two Chelsea men forward. Just offside, though, Steen. But it's more interesting now, Ray, isn't it, now that Chelsea are having more to say?
Well, Chelsea certainly have got their confidence up. You just say they've created the only chances in this game so far. I would think that Alex Ferguson will be far from happy with the performance of his team so far. Their passing is nowhere near as slick as it normally is. Give some credit to Chelsea for that, but on other occasions Manchester United have given the ball away needlessly with sloppy passing, and I'm sure that Alex Ferguson will be far from happy with that aspect of the game.
Quarter of an hour of the first half remaining in the 113th FA Cup final at Wembley Stadium. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. And Ferguson certainly not looking too happy down there on the bench at the moment, with Brian Kidd, his assistant, on his right as we looked, and Jim McGregor, the physio. I can't name these Chelsea fans, sorry. Here's Clark, just recalled by Scotland, incidentally, the Chelsea right back. Ince, long ball forward, and an excellent one. Cantona onto it, lovely control. But when he laid it off, it was to an imaginary Manchester United colleague. There was no one in the box. Pallister leaning all over Steen there. Irwin's clearance has gone straight to Burley. Good ball inside to Steen. Now that's a foul by Bruce. And Steen is so good at that, just turning quickly away from defenders. And he certainly caught Bruce for pace then. Well, Dennis Wise, as I mentioned earlier, is a good crosser of the ball and can also hit it well on target, but I would have thought the angle's not quite right for him here. Ray, what do you think?
No, I would have thought that it would be difficult to get a shot on from here. I think it's more of a curl ball in towards that possible near post area, or Johnson at the far post, because he is exceptionally dangerous in the air.
He curls it in, looking for Johnson. Headed clear. Peacock gets the shot back in. The linesman is flagged. That wouldn't have counted anyway. The linesman flagged for offside. The referee acknowledged that, but lets the game go on. Clark rather, getting up well. Then Kielberg scrambling it, half clear. Ince is onto it. Well, that's good play by Ince. Kanchelskis now for Manchester United. He's won the corner. Pallister coming forward to lend his considerable presence in the penalty area, with Kielberg marking him closely. Bruce is forward too. Goes in towards the skipper, and the bounce took it beyond the reach of him. But now Kanchelskis just flicks it up again, looking for Bruce. Headed away by Jonsson. Chelsea get it clear to Steen. And good play by Kanchelskis to win it back for United. Irwin. That's a superb ball. Oh, unlucky. Giggs offside. I don't think he agreed with the linesman somehow, and certainly seemed to time his run properly.
Well, no, he wouldn't agree, because he's the widest man of the strike force there. He can see right along the line, and therefore wide men should never get caught offside, because they can see exactly where the back four is.
Pallister's clearance. Newton won it, but didn't realise he had. And United have given it away again, uncharacteristically for them. Spencer with a little header down, trying to find Steen. That's a dangerous ball by Pallister, and Schmeichel whacks it clear. Wise took it on the chest, not the hand as United were claiming. And again, they tried to play that little ball in behind United central defenders, but Schmeichel aware of that danger. And a tremendous kick upfield by him, and it's gone over Sinclair's head to Kanchelskis. And he's done well. And the cross goes in deep towards Hughes. Headed away, though, by Kuberg. Burley. Spencer bravely showing himself in front of Pallister and wins the throw. Mentioned Chelsea's dreadful start to the season. They only won 4 of their first 23 games, but really have picked up well of late and won 15 of the last 29 games. Shows you what a contrast their season has been. Can they round it off here by upsetting the form book and beating Manchester United for what would be, in their case, the 3rd time this season? Parker for United releases it long, and the clearance by Jonsson has given United a throw. Parker. Ince. Parker again. Couldn't quite find his man, but he's there to win it back. Mind you, it's dropped to Spencer, who has Steen with it. Seemed to lose it a bit there, Steen, momentarily. As Peacock plays it forward, the layoff by Spencer was straight to a United man, Keane. Now Kanchelskis has the chance to run at Sinclair again, and Giggs is in support. They have Cantona and Hughes moving into the penalty area, and Giggs looks for Cantona, far post. Good save by Karim, because if he hadn't have got there, Hughes would have done. He was steaming in behind him.
That really was an excellent save, a great move on the break. And when the ball comes in here, see Cantona pull off his marker, great header, and look at that, Karim full stretch. That was the first time he's been tested, and he came up with full marks. That really was eye on the ball, both hands on the ball, and although he was under pressure from Mark Hughes, never wavered, brave and strong, good save.
Karim will be playing for Russia in the World Cup finals this summer. And indeed, a number of the players on the field today will be representing their various countries in the USA. Sadly, none of the Englishmen. Parker's given it away to Spencer, who tries the shot from long range, but it was straight into Schmeichel's midriff. And Kanchelskis has lost it. Let's quickly call in John Fashanu from the studio for his impression so far, John.
Well, really, as it's going exactly as we all thought, really. Chelsea have obviously done their homework. You can see why they've beaten United twice this season. They're hustling the ball, they're doing a lot of working. As Ray said earlier on, the only way they're letting themselves down is sloppy passing. The two little men are finding it very difficult to hold it up there. They wouldn't be surprised if the big man Cascarino comes on in the second half just to beef up the attack. But at the moment, 50-50.
Thank you, John. John Fashanu of Wimbledon, our studio guest today, as we bring you this live coverage of the 113th FA Cup final, which is still goalless. 33 minutes completed. Here's one of John's former Wimbledon teammates, Dennis Wise, winning the corner for Chelsea, his new club. He was a winner here with Wimbledon, of course, when they really upset the form book and beat Liverpool in the final 6 years ago. In fact, he crossed for Sanchez to score the winning goal that day. Kilberg has come forward for the corner, which Wise will take. Short to Spencer. And two United defenders going for the same ball then. And Peacock was brought down as he profited from their confusion. Now this is certainly a good position for a strike on goal, I would think, Ray.
Yes, this is exactly the area that the likes of Peacock or Wise would be looking to have a strike on goal. And even the likes of Craig Burley is capable of hitting balls from here. They've got a number of players in the side who actually are very, very strong at hitting shots from this sort of area. But it was confusion in the United defence which caused it in the first place. Bruce and Pallister both going for the same ball, and when the ball dropped, then Bruce could only obstruct Peacock and give the free kick away.
Well, they will have worked on this particular free kick hundreds of times on their training ground. Can they make it come right on this most important occasion of all? It's Wise who takes it, and it flicked off the wall, and it certainly wasn't too successful. And Schmeichel slips in making the clearance. Got away with it, but it is a throw. Peacock. Spencer, rather. That's a good ball to find Peacock. And then Newton playing it in, but it's too deep. Goal kick. He's one of the young lads that has come through the youth system at Chelsea, along with Frank Sinclair. Glenn, obviously, is somebody you played with in your Tottenham days. In terms of tactical know-how, he will have really done his preparation to the final dot of the I and cross of the T.
Well, I would think certainly, you know, with 5 minutes to go to half-time, Glenn will certainly be the happier of the two managers. Chelsea have obviously taken a lot of confidence from the two victories against Manchester United in the league season. They've set up the same system, and it's causing United lots of problems.
Keane for Manchester United. Kanchelskis makes the break into the penalty area, but it's too deep, is it? Well, he's done well to get a corner out of it. It looked as though it was going to be a hopeless case, but he didn't give it up. Well, this is the psychologically dangerous moment when you don't want to concede a goal just before half-time. Giggs whips the corner in. It's a good one, and Karim fingertips it away. And that's another corner. This time off Johnson. Well, he's only been called into action twice, really, and he's done well both times. Cantona with the kick. And Canine thought about coming for that one, hesitated, and was relieved to see Bruce head it wide. He's got a reputation over the years for scoring a lot of goals. Steve Bruce, 7 this season, almost a poor return for him.
It's interesting, actually, Eric Cantona taking the corner kick there. You would think, you know, one of your best goal scorers you'd have in the penalty area, wouldn't you, rather than actually taking the corner kick.
Yeah, I was surprised at that, because he's certainly very good in the air, Cantona. Scored a number of his goals with his head this season, and has 23 in all, leading scorer at Manchester United, ahead of Mark Hughes on 21. Cantona was offside that time. And although we're in the sanctuary of the commentary position here in the dry, it appears to be still raining out there. Still dull and grey. Hughes for Manchester United. It's picked up pace off the greasy top, and Parker had to struggle just to keep it in. And then a great ball forward by Keane to Kanchelskis, who's shaken off Sinclair this time and couldn't quite pull the ball back into the penalty area to Cantona, but Johnson gets it away for a corner. Minute and a half remaining to half-time. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. Kanchelskis knowing he didn't quite get that cross right. Giggs with the corner, it's a good one. Headed away then by Kielberg, and that'll be a Manchester United throw. So Kanchelskis and his teammates can keep the pressure on here in the dying moments of the first half. Parker for them. Giggs still out there from the earlier corner. Karim just issues the orders to his defenders. Bruce for United. That was a bit sloppy and invited the challenge, really, which Newton was quite happy to make. Peacock. Parker intercepts, and then he's fouled. Spencer back defending for the moment again, and Cantona's hustled out of possession. Wise. That's good play by him. Clark. Sinclair. Wise again. Good challenge from Ince. Kanchelskis now for Manchester United. They've got 4 forward in this attack. Cantona. And he still looks a bit out of sorts, doesn't he, Ray?
Well, everything he's tried so far hasn't come off for him. I can only remember one real contribution in this first half, and that was when he pulled off at the far post and headed a very, very good ball back across goal, which Karim did extremely well to hold on to. But apart from that, everything he's tried for him hasn't come off. He showed his frustration in the centre of the park just minutes ago there when he got caught in possession and actually tried to wrestle, I think it was Dennis Wise, to the floor there. And it's the sort of situation now where Eric in the past has been liable to do something silly which will get himself in serious trouble, and I would think that Alex Ferguson can't wait to get his players in the dressing room to sort out the things that have obviously gone wrong in this first half.
Which is now into stoppage time, incidentally, and there's only been one occasion when the physios had to come on, so there won't be too much time to add. Owen took an age over the throw and then presented it straight to the Chelsea player. But they've got another throw, United. And again, they've wasted it. Spencer. That's a terrific long ball. Steen. Well, Bruce was strong then when he needed to be. It was a brilliant ball, and being hypercritical, if Steen had had it under control instantly, there might have been danger then, but it couldn't have been easy. The ball was in the air a long time. Hughes making it difficult for Sinclair. Now Ince for United. That's a good ball. Giggs just kept it in, did he? Yes. Certainly Chelsea are not allowing these United players any time or room on the ball at all. They're hunting in packs and hustling them every time they get possession now. Now, looking at my watch now, we've had over 2 minutes of stoppage time. And that, in fact, is the half-time whistle blown by David Ellery. A satisfactory first half, particularly for Chelsea, I think, with Gavin Peacock's tremendous effort against the crossbar. There'll be more action, of course, to come here in the second half, but the interval scoreline at Wembley Stadium in the FA Cup final is Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. So 45 minutes to sort things out here. The possibility of extra time in a replay, of course, if the teams are still level. But it's Manchester United who get the second half underway now. 0-0 after the first 45 minutes. And the early ball for Giggs goes out of play. Glenn Hoddle has had so much success in his career here at Wembley Stadium, both as an England player, of course, and in club football with Tottenham and with Swindon last year. Scored a winning goal, I remember, against Queen's Park Rangers from the penalty spot in an FA Cup final for Tottenham. Young Burley has a famous A member of his family in the game as well, George Burley, the former Ipswich Town fullback, who was also a winner here in an FA Cup final. Craig Burley here is his nephew. Spencer for Chelsea, backing into the defender as Brian Robson takes his seat on the touchline. Chelsea have won a free kick. Now can Wise deliver it onto the head of Kielberg or Janssen, the two central defenders who come up for this kick. Headed away by Irwin, straight back in from Peacock. Almost reached Sinclair. Hughes whips it away from him. It just shows you how slippery the Wembley pitch is still there. Parker almost falling as the rain continues to fall. Brave challenge there by Sinclair, and Peacock does well to force it through to Spencer, who was pushed aside by Bruce. The referee saw nothing wrong with the challenge. I think the right choice of studs is going to be important today, and Glenn Hoddle's getting his boots ready for action, perhaps. Peter Shreves, his assistant there, has enjoyed the success at the stadium before in his Tottenham Hotspur days. Hughes angles it forward, and Janssen belts it against Cantona. It took Chelsea 65 years to win the FA Cup, and there would be no greater satisfaction than beating the favourites, and Manchester United have been that since the competition started. In Chelsea's fourth appearance in the FA Cup final, and certainly in boxing parlance they're ahead on points, but crucially it's still 0-0. Here's Newton for them. Steve Clark drills it forward, looking to release Steen, but has given it away. Now Giggs. Irwin. Giggs continues his run forward, and Irwin lifts it over Clark's head. Nothing wrong with that by the fullback, although the referee has given a free kick. I thought he really shadowed his man well then, but the referee saw something wrong and has given the free kick against Clark. It's not too often I do agree with referees, and I didn't that time. It's a dangerous free kick. Corrine punches it clear, though. Keane. Parker. Irwin. Giggs is still on the left flank, and he finds him. The interception by Burley, and then a neat little ball to Clark, but he's given it away. And then it goes to Hughes. Good defending by Janssen, who got across in front of Hughes. Peacock with a good little header forward. Now Wise. Four men in this Chelsea attack. Peacock. And Keane just deflected that. There's a great roar then from the Chelsea fans, who would have seen that as a deliberate back pass, and many referees might have interpreted it as so as well.
I think that would have been a little bit harsh, to be honest, Alan. I think that he stuck his leg out there trying to block the ball, skidded off his shin and went through to Schmeichel.
A mistake then in the Chelsea defence. Almost presented an opening for Cantona, but they got away with it. Giggs with the shot. And that came from nothing at all. Giggs striking the ball brilliantly with his left foot. And Pallister concedes the throw. They've lost only 4 league games, remember, this season, Manchester United, but significantly 2 of them were against Chelsea, 1-0 at Stamford Bridge in September, and then the same scoreline at Old Trafford in March. If Chelsea do have the Indian sign over Manchester United, then this is the day they'll most want it to reappear. Wise for Chelsea. That's a great ball. Steen. Now he'll take the defender on here. He's got Spencer far edge of the area. Good work by Bruce to hold him off, and then a good challenge by Parker. But the loose ball drops, and Burley tries the shot. Well off target in the end.
Well, Craig Burley has scored number of spectacular goals like that this year. He's never afraid to try a shot from outside the box, right foot, always left foot, but on that occasion, just leant back slightly on it, got underneath it, and it caused Michael no problems at all. But yet again, Chelsea have started quite brightly in this second half, and whatever Alex Ferguson has said to them at half-time, it hasn't quite worked at the moment.
Yes, Chelsea have more or less picked up from where they left off at half-time. And here's Clark. It's a good little ball out to the right. They've got 5 forward again in this attack. It goes in deep. And Schmeichel read the problem well and hurls it forward in that spectacular manner he has. Bit too far forward that time, and Johnson gets it back for Chelsea. Karim took a bit of a risk then with Hughes sniffing around, but the United player's presence has forced the throw-in for his side. Cantona's layoff. This is Irwin. Now Parker. Cantona wants it played in high, and it's a good-looking ball too. Didn't really get the power in his neck muscles that he was looking for. It dropped fairly tamely to the keeper.
As you can see, as the ball's delivered in by Parker here, he has got a chance, Cantona, but Eddie Newton just about puts enough pressure on him so that he can't get that power. It's a comfortable save for Karim in the end.
So Cantona and United still frustrated here. Pallister's clearance wins the ball back for them though. Hughes, Giggs. That's good play by Giggs, who was surely obstructed. And again, the official and myself not in harmony, because he shook his head and said no free kick. Now Spencer, good ball, Steen. Good defending again by Hughes. Well, they keep accusing him of lacking pace. Not Hughes, I should have said Bruce. Accusing him of lacking pace, but he covers brilliantly as he did then. And United have a free kick for offside. Referee has said play on. They're still in possession. Irwin delivering the long ball again. It was meant to go to Giggs, but has gone straight out for a goal kick. The official attendance, 79,634. The official capacity has tumbled, of course, over the years here at Wembley, as seats have been introduced into areas that once were standing. But I can assure you, you could not get a ticket for love, nor more significantly money, in London, and I'm sure the same applied in Manchester in the build-up to this game. Hilberg's clearance for Chelsea, helped on by Burley. United's throw. And Ferguson urging his team to get on with it and pick up the pace of the game, take it to Chelsea again. Giggs with a little header onto Hughes. Parker. And again. Well, that was an easy interception for Newton, and he delivers it upfield to Steen. On it goes then to little Spencer, and he's got Peacock with him and Steen on the other side. It's a great run by Spencer, but perhaps he just took it a yard too far in the end. However, Chelsea still had possession with Burley, and now Wise. Good ball down the line for Clark, who crosses flat into the box. Ince clears it. Newton onto the rebound. Tried an ambitious shot. And a good little spell for Chelsea here. Wise, their captain. And Bruce gets across to make the clearance. But Chelsea looking confident again here in the second half, Ray.
Yes, they are, certainly, and that run there by Spencer was a fine run through the middle of the field there. And if he could have just got his head up just a little bit quicker, Gavin Peacock had made a great run to his left-hand side, and all Spencer had to do was just to lay it into his path. and Peacock would have been in the box with a great shooting opportunity, but unfortunately he ran into a lot of red shirts. But it was, yet again, positive run, which shows that the confidence is in that Chelsea side to try those runs.
Ince has it back now for United. Kanchelskis made an early run, but he lays it off to Parker. Now Kanchelskis. Parker again. Hughes took it brilliantly on the chest, but credit to Kjellberg, who got it away from him. Had a quietly efficient game so far, the Danish international. Parker. This is Cantona. Good-looking ball into the box towards Giggs. Flicked away then by the defender, Burley in that instance. And Clark brings it forward for Chelsea. Shakes his head. Chelsea's longest serving player, 7 years at Stamford Bridge. Just overrun that ball. And I wonder if either manager is thinking of making a substitution. It's a little bit early, perhaps in the half for that. Hovell has the option of bringing himself on, or Tony Cascarino, the tall striker, to perhaps alter the way they're playing, but I don't see why they would want to at the moment, because they're playing well in this system and in this style. Here goes Ince for United, and he's won a free kick. Possibility for Dennis Irwin here, who strikes the ball as well as anyone in the land. Seems a long way out.
It's always tempting fate, isn't it, to say it seems a long way out. I would agree with you, it's a long way out, but he does strike it so well from that distance with his right foot, and certainly I'm sure that Karim will be right on his toes for this.
And he hits it brilliantly, but obviously it never really carried the pace to beat the goalkeeper. Good effort nonetheless, on target, that's all you can ask for. Kjellberg again does the sensible thing, just hooks it away from trouble. And that's Manchester United's throw. Karim can be well pleased with his contribution so far, the goalkeeper. Ince doing really well for Manchester United. Superb play by the England international. And then the layoff from Irwin was excellent if Parker can reach it. And he did. Now Kanchelskis. That's a good ball too. Headed away from danger by Newton, but United having a little period of pressure here. Keen for them. Parker. Cantona turning away from the defender and finding Ince. Wise with the tackle. And United have the ball back again from what looks suspiciously like a foul. Cantona with the cross, and the wet pitch contributed to Chelsea's safety then, with Hughes, I think it was, slipping over as the cross came in. Here's Giggs. Well, that's a good run by Giggs, and he's found Irwin. It's a penalty. The challenge on Irwin by Newton has brought Manchester United a penalty. And I don't think there can be any debate about that decision, Ray.
No, I don't think so. Here we see it now. Giggs comes inside delightfully, just nicks it past Clark, and there's the ball. Irwin just gets his toe to it, and there's the tackle. No dispute. Philip Don couldn't be in a better position, and not one Chelsea supporter actually looked to even appeal against it.
And the man who's going to be given the responsibility of taking the kick will be the Frenchman Eric Cantona, by the looks of things. Hughes wants to take it as well. There might be a bit of a debate between those two, but Cantona's already scored twice from the spot this season, and his confidence is high enough to want to take it, and that's one of the most important things about penalty kicks in this pressurised situation. So, Manchester United have a wonderful opportunity here to take the lead, somewhat against the run of play, you would argue, but that doesn't really matter. It's Cantona against Karim from a distance of 12 yards. And Cantona has scored! Manchester United are in front. Dismay for Newton, the defender who made the challenge. Joy for Cantona. And with an hour of the game gone, it's Chelsea 0, Manchester United 1.
Well, it was a sweetly taken penalty there, wasn't it, by Cantona? But it's funny how this game is, and it's ironical, isn't it? The man who scores it really has made no contributions to this game whatsoever. And the person who gave it away has been just very, very efficient, just shielded in front of Chelsea's back four. He's dropped into the back four, swept up for them at times. And Eddie Newton has done extremely well for Chelsea this afternoon. And there we are, he's given a penalty away. And the man we haven't seen all afternoon has put United in front.
So United are half an hour away from history. The champions of England are on their way now to winning the FA Cup and completing the double, although I would say the way Chelsea have been playing here, anything could happen now in this next half an hour, and I think that'll really make the game special. Here's the incident again that led to Cantona's penalty.
It was so blatant, wasn't it? You could just see Irwin there, just toe ends it. There's the touch, and there's the challenge. Just as half a second late, but that makes such a difference at this level.
It's such a shame, really, isn't it? Because the laws of the game do say there has to be intent, of course, and I'm quite certain he and many other defenders making that kind of sliding tackle certainly don't intend to foul the forward, but as Ray has said, just mistiming it by that nth of a second is enough to make it look bad, and I think most referees certainly would have given that penalty. Free kick to Chelsea. Can they hit back straight away? Well, the man who gave the penalty away tried the shot, but suddenly it's broken kindly for Manchester United, who've got 4 players against 3 defenders here. Kanchelskis knocking it forward, looking for Hughes, and Giggs is there. Well, he scored a magnificent goal from a not dissimilar position earlier this season, but this time, a little rush of blood to the head, perhaps.
Well, initially it was a poor ball in from Kanchelskis, wasn't it? Because United had a situation they've thrived on all season. They're under pressure, they break with a tremendous pace that they've got. Kanchelskis had 2 red shirts to hit, overhit it, and then Ryan Giggs, in a very, very difficult position, tried the impossible, trying to chip it back into the net from a very, very acute angle. So everything was wrong with that move in the end.
Well, no great emotion on the face of Ken Bates, the Chelsea chairman, but he must be sick inside at the moment, seeing his side 1 down here when they've played so very well. And Newton's given it away. And that was a cleaner challenge, but again, he couldn't keep possession, and Cantona's flying. It's a great run, and he's got Hughes to one side and Kanchelskis to the other, but overhit it. He's enjoying himself a bit more now. He's come alive after that goal. But Chelsea are not taking it lying down. Here goes steam for them. He's got round Hughes. He's got Spencer in the middle. And then the cross, which was aimed, I think, at Burley on the far post, was driven too hard.
You wonder how long it is now before Glenn might bring himself on. I can see on the far side on the track that Glenn Hoddle is actually warming up, so it must now be going through his mind. It's the time for him to come on and try and put an influence on this Chelsea side.
Now then, he might have a lot of work to do if he does come on, as Sinclair takes on Kanchelskis, and the referee is pointing to the spot again. And I have to say, on this occasion, I totally disagree with Mr. Ellery. In my opinion, there's no way that was a penalty.
Oh, quite rightly. There we see, look, shoulder to shoulder. Kanchelskis throws himself to the floor. No way was that a penalty. Here we can see it. It's just the old-fashioned shoulder charge. Kanchelskis makes a meal of it. And David Ellery, for me, that was an awful decision. A decision which is obviously going to decide this game, I would say. challenge as far as I was concerned.
I completely agree. Twice in the space of 5 minutes, referee David Ellery has pointed to the penalty spot. Twice Chelsea have been the victims. The first time, absolutely spot on. That time, a very controversial decision has gone against Sinclair, and Cantona can score again and surely make the cup almost safe for Manchester United. Same corner, same result. The scoreline doubles. Cantona's got 2 goals. Glenn Hoddle must be sick inside and looks as though that's the moment when he's going to come on. But I really do feel sorry for Chelsea, because I don't think they got the benefit of the referee's decision then. And someone in the Chelsea side, it looks like Steen, has expressed that very opinion and been shown the yellow card. And Peacock is trying to calm his players down. But you've got to feel total sympathy for their frustration with the referee. To see a game in which they've been playing so well suddenly go away from them. Well, now here's possibly the only man who can turn it back into their favour again. With 24 minutes remaining, Glenn Hoddle is coming on to replace Craig Burley.
Well, Glenn will really have to sort of weave his magic now. He'll have to steady his side down and say, come on, let's start playing football again. What's happened has happened. We can't do anything about it. It's a terrible decision. And if we get a goal back in, and that's what he's signalling with one finger, I'm sure, saying if we can get 1 goal back in here, we're in with a chance, because they don't deserve, on the way they play, to be 2-0 down.
Well, I'm not a great historian on the game, but I cannot think there's ever been an occasion when one side has had 2 penalty kicks, certainly in that kind of quick succession in the history of the FA Cup final. And these Chelsea fans, well, look, their faces tell the whole story. I don't need any words to explain their feelings at the moment. Well, someone up there has been smiling on Manchester United in the last 10 minutes, no doubt about it. And Glenn Hoddle's job now is to, as Ray says, calm his players down and get their minds back on the game instead of thinking about the injustice of the second penalty, which I'm quite certain most neutral people would say was a very, very harsh decision indeed against Chelsea's young fullback Frank Sinclair. And it might well be the turning point in the game. At 1-0 down, well, Chelsea were playing well enough to get back in the game. At 2-0 down, can they rescue it? Now let's look at it again here, as Kanchelskis was bearing down on goal. And suddenly, out of shot, Hughes has scored, and Manchester United now have surely completed their FA Cup final victory with a goal from the main man, Mark Hughes, and Chelsea's challenge has fallen apart in a matter of minutes. Mark Hughes gets his 22nd goal of the season, his 4th in the FA Cup, and poor Chelsea's challenge has evaporated now.
Well, you always felt if Manchester United got in front early in the game that this could happen, but then in the second half, because Chelsea had done so well, you thought they'd be able to get in this game. But it's poor Frank Sinclair again, slipped trying to clear the ball, and Mark Hughes, you can't give him opportunities like that in the sort of form he's been in this season. Buried it quite comfortably.
Well, what a tragedy for young Sinclair, a moment that will live with him for the rest of his career, I'm sure, because he'd only just given the penalty away, of course. Now he's given another goal away, and suddenly Cantona, who's onside because he started in his own half, can make a hat-trick here for himself. Well, you would have put money on that going in.
Well, he'll be disappointed there, and Chelsea at the moment have just lost total discipline. I mean, Eric Cantona, when he picked that ball up, it made his run from inside his own half. There was no Chelsea player within 10 yards of him to actually pick up his run. And Chelsea very quickly need to get some organisation and get back to playing the football they were doing before, otherwise they're going to get a hiding here.
Chelsea 0, Manchester United 3. What an incredible turnaround in this FA Cup final, which would have been enjoyable, certainly without being dramatic in the first half, but now has suddenly and controversially turned into one of the great talking point games of the season, I think. And the talking point will be the foul on this man, or alleged foul, Kanchelskis, which gave the second penalty away. Here's Hoddle. Now Wise. Couldn't find Steen. Irwin's interception. And United threatening to sweep Chelsea aside at the moment, as Hoddle wins possession back again for the team, 3-0 down. Peacock. Well, that's a good-looking cross delivered by Peacock, but no one seemed to really react. And the fact that the referee has given the free kick anyway to Manchester United.
And so you wonder now that because they're in such a state, the two lads up the front, Spencer and Steen for Chelsea, have worked tirelessly. Here we see the opportunity again. Mark Hughes looks up. There's the side that Karin's given him, and Hughes sticks it in. But just talking about Chelsea there, I just wonder now with Spencer and Steen up the front, they've worked extremely hard. They've created one or two little openings, but there's no height up there, as we've said right from the start. And you wonder again if Cascarino might be introduced in the last third of this game, just to try and give a little bit more beef up the front, to try and create one or two problems for Pallister and Bruce, which the two smaller attackers haven't done so far.
There's a little moment then involving Johnson and Hughes, where it appeared that Johnson used his elbow against Hughes, and he's already been cautioned. Of course, there's the man Ray Clements has been talking about, the Republic of Ireland international striker Tony Cascarino, who's 6'2" and a real handful in the air. And they've got to try something. They've got to try anything now, Chelsea, because the game is rapidly going away from them. And I mean, it is strange in football how just one goal for the other side can bring them back in the picture. But my goodness, if they don't get it soon, then they're in for a thrashing here, as Cantona plays it into Hughes. Lovely strength by Hughes. The back heeler not quite right for Ince. Chelsea have got to get a goal in the next few minutes to have even the glimmer of a hope. And you would say 3-0 down to Manchester United. They haven't even got that now.
Well, it's amazing to say what a goal can do. All of a sudden, since they've got in front now, all the little flicks that weren't coming off before are now starting to come off for them. All the confidence has come back into the United side. They're oozing with it all over the place, and I say I do fear for Chelsea at the moment, and it would be a terrible injustice if they were to get a hiding, because they have done so well up to that controversial second penalty incident.
Yes, I'm certain that no matter what happens in the remainder of the game, that will be seen as the crucial turning point of this FA Cup final. That second penalty opened the floodgates, really, as far as Manchester United are concerned. Here goes Kanchelskis for them. Keane's layoff to Parker. Ince. Well, this is all they've got to do, really, isn't it? Manchester United keep possession. It's up to Chelsea to come and win the ball off them and do something with it. And we're getting the Olé football now from Manchester United. A desperately difficult situation is for Chelsea, it goes without saying. Cantona straight offside in that attack. Well, I'll be very interested to hear, but we'll wait a moment to hear the views of John Fashanu as Chelsea sweep forward with Steen. Sure, John's got an opinion on that crucial penalty, amongst other things. We'll hear from him in a moment. Wise for Chelsea, lifts into the penalty. It's a good-looking ball too. Oh, that's a fine save by Schmeichel from Peacock. A fine save. Corner kick to Chelsea. I'll just keep John on the substitutes bench for a moment longer to see what comes of this corner kick. Here's Wise. Hoddle. One off him by Ince. Good ball forward too. Giggs. Kanchelskis. Cantona is in the centre. Kanchelskis tempts Sinclair into the challenge. He's not having it this time, though. Now Wise for Chelsea. Peacock. Spencer's peeled away into space to his right. Steen forward. It's a good layoff. Clark. Now Wise. Irwin not giving him room for the cross. But now it comes in, and it's a good-looking one too. Hoddle getting forward. but the header was ineffective, and Manchester United have it back again with Cantona. And now they have a throw and an opportunity to bring in John Fashanu. John.
Yeah, really very disappointing. I'm sure the Chelsea boys will be very upset. Bad decision by the referee, David. It really was. I think that he misread the game there. You know, that happens. That's a normal shoulder charge. You'll see that maybe 60 or 70 times during a match. And then really Eddie's just, I think it was Frank Sinclair actually. I think he just lost his footing completely. You know, we said earlier on the pitch is very greasy, it's very wet, and some of the players had looked like they'd made mistakes earlier on. And there you are, you see it. The wrong footwear cost him a goal. And I think really now Chelsea are dead and buried. Highly unlikely they're going to come back from this.
Yes, I'm sure you're right, John, but professionally speaking, of course, as you know, they'll keep their heads up, keep trying, and keep believing that even one goal might just change the picture here. But what a near impossible job they've got in the final 15 minutes here with a 3-goal deficit. But they've got their pride to play for. They'll want at least one goal for their efforts, and they deserve that. Hovell can't keep possession. Irwin takes it from him. And it looks as though Chelsea are going to make a second substitution. Mark Steen coming off for Cascarino, presumably, as Manchester United go forward again with Cantona. Kanchelskis. Good return ball that was by the Frenchman. And Kanchelskis' cross looks for Giggs, far post, headed away by Clark. Hoddle. Now Wise, they can't even bring their substitute on. The ball hasn't gone out of play yet. On it goes to Steen. This might be his last taste of the action here. Remember, he's missed 2 months of the season with that bad injury, Steen, so it's not surprising that he's tiring now. Cascarino waits to be introduced. And not exactly a situation that you would relish, is it? 3-0 down to Manchester United. Hughes to Irwin. Giggs. Now Cantona. Keane. Accurate ball to Parker. Kanchelskis. Well, you just saw how slippery the pitch is there, because Kanchelskis went over as well momentarily, and now Chelsea will be able to make their substitution. It is going to be Steen coming off. Well, he's done his best, but it was never going to be easy for him. Now, at least Cascarino will be able to provide an aerial challenge for Chelsea, but it may be rather inconsequential at this stage of the game. So both the allowable substitutes on, and we have something like 12 minutes remaining. It's Chelsea 0, Manchester United 3, and United are seeing the clock ticking away to the league and cup double, which they've never won in their history. Here's Peacock. It's a poor ball, straight to Keane. Hughes. The remaining question has to be whether United can get another goal. Giggs with a lovely ball forward, just over Cantona's head, though. Now there's going to be a Manchester United substitution, I can see over on the touchline. Dennis Irwin, possibly the player coming off. They have Brian McClare and Lee Sharp on the bench, and it's McClare who's coming on. Chelsea in possession, though. Cascarino gets his first touch. Now Wise. Good ball into the box. Peacock tried to chest it into the path, and that wasn't a bad effort at all by Spencer, but wide.
Yeah, Spencer's worked tirelessly all this game. He's been as big a handful, if you like, as a small fella can be. Here he is onto the left-footed, tries to guide it past Michael's left arm there. Does that, but unfortunately goes past the post as well. But they've sort of gained a little bit more composure now, Chelsea, but unfortunately it's just too late after that amazing 5 or 10 minute spell.
Keane has conceded the free kick here, and I'm sure Mr. Ellery will be sought after by the journalists covering this final from all the various nations of the world for his interpretation of the turning point of the game, the second Manchester United penalty. There's word from the bench now that it could be Kanchelskis maybe who makes way for McClare, but at the moment he doesn't seem to be coming on at all. Brian Robson involved in his last ever competitive game for Manchester United after 13 years with the club. Rumours in England abound that he is about to take over as player manager, in fact, of Middlesbrough.
Yes, I think that will probably be confirmed over this weekend. I'm pretty sure of that. It's amazing if they do bring Kanchelskis off, because Irwin certainly is quite blatantly limping in the left-back position and has obviously got a problem. But if they're going to bring Kanchelskis, obviously Alex Ferguson knows something that we don't from up in our position up here. But certainly Irwin has been limping in for at least the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Here's Spencer for Chelsea, trying still to get a goal to give the scoreline some respectability. Clark for them. That's a poor cross, and still no sign of McClare's arrival on the field, so whether it was tactical or injury inspired, whatever the change Alex Ferguson was going to make, he's decided against for the moment. 8 minutes remaining, and Ken Bates alongside the Royal Highness has had a disappointing afternoon. I hope he kept his emotions in check when that second penalty was awarded. Ince wins it back for United here. It's gone out of play. Nice little turn away from danger by Johnson to Wise now for Chelsea. Well, Chelsea have the haunted look of men now who know that their possible moment of glory has disappeared. As Wise tries the shot, easily fielded by Schmeichel. In a mad few minutes, I guess you could call it, Manchester United wrestled control of this game away from Chelsea and are on their way now to success in the 12th FA Cup final. And they'll be equaling Tottenham Hotspur's record of 8 victories in the showpiece occasion of English football.
Listen, the only consolation for Chelsea now is whatever happens here this afternoon, they are going to be in the Cup Winners' Cup next year, and that obviously is a tremendous boost for the Premiership side, the money that can entail, and also the glory for the players that play against the top European sides.
Giggs trying to win the ball back there against Clark, didn't do so. Sorry, Ray.
I'm just saying really how much it can mean to Chelsea in terms of their players being able to play against the top European players and the top sides. I mean, it's a tremendous feeling. I think anybody that's played in Europe, it really is a different atmosphere playing in Europe, and a different type of football to what we're used to playing and seeing every week in the Premiership.
Well, they've got a field for Karine as well. He's had a sound enough game and has been beaten 3 times. Twice from the penalty spot by Cantona, once by Hughes, and none of the goals were down to him in any degree. But the gentleman who has an important job behind the scenes of tying the appropriately coloured ribbons onto the FA Cup. He had some red ones and he had some blue ones. I think he can now, with some confidence, reach for the red ribbons and tie it to the famous trophy. There's no way. And Eric Cantona has written himself into FA Cup history. Remember, the first French player ever to play in the FA Cup final, and he's marked the occasion with 2 goals. And 2 substitutes are about to come on for Manchester United. I'm sure that's more of a gesture towards the players concerned. Irwin, as Ray Clemens correctly predicted, has been replaced by Sharp after that injury. And I think this is just the opportunity for the 2 substitutes to earn their medal, so to speak, if you like, with 5 minutes in the FA Cup final. McClare and Sharp on for Irwin and Kanchelskis. 5 minutes to go. United leading 3-0. Palace has conceded the free kick. Wise lifts it forward to Spencer, and it was headed clear by Keane. Chelsea have a late and sadly for them rather inconsequential corner now. Well, their supporters still cheering, still in good heart despite their disappointment. It's a goal kick. Erland Jonsson's header going wide. And there's a bit of a nasty knock there for, is it Keane?
It's Roy Keane, yeah. Roy Keane went up there with Jonsson there, and I think he's got a blow in the face there. I don't think it was an elbow or anything like that. I think it was just a clash of heads, which happens in those situations. But Roy Keane is, he might have a headache at the moment. I think he might have a headache tomorrow morning when he wakes up after the celebrations during the evening, I would think.
Yes, the cup final banquets, one of the traditions of this big day. I know Chelsea have one in one of the big West End hotels tonight. That's not going to start off as the happiest occasion, but I'm quite sure it'll end up fairly relaxed, because it was an achievement to get here, and they can take satisfaction in the way they played for at least an hour of this game, these supporters. Chelsea threatened for so long to upset the form book and the odds here, and if, in a game of ifs, if Peacock's shot had just been 2 inches lower in the first half and gone in, who knows how this game might have turned out. Kielberg for Chelsea as the clock ticks on into the 43rd minute now of the second half, and the stewards and police ready themselves for the traditional post-match scenes here, the presentation of the FA Cup to the winning captain, which is going to be Manchester United's Steve Bruce, quite clearly now. As Spencer goes forward and finds Hobble. Hobble, lovely little ball to Wise. Well, they couldn't even finish the game off with the goal that even neutrals would say they deserve. Should have scored perhaps there, Ray?
Well, he certainly should have hit the target, but there's a lovely layoff. Wise is in there on his left foot. You think he's got to hit the target, unfortunately doesn't, and that's the way, unfortunately, Chelsea's afternoon has gone. But it really was a superb passing move that created that opportunity.
Wise again battles for it, but it's in vain now, and it would only have been a little blot on Manchester United's landscape had he managed to score. Well, although they have had the benefit of a very controversial refereeing decision today, you have to say that Manchester United's football throughout the season has been such that no one, and even in their darkest moments, maybe even Chelsea, can deny them their right to join the greats in the history of English football, like Tottenham and Arsenal and Liverpool, in becoming double winners, because certainly, I think most people would agree, they have been good enough to be regarded in that light, Ray.
Yes, they have had an outstanding season, and at one stage, you know, when you were looking at the semi-final, when they were playing against Oldham here, you thought it just might be a situation with Blackburn closing them down the league, that they might finish up with nothing. But as we said earlier on, Mark Hughes saved that situation, and since then they've got back to their old ways of playing, and quite rightly have been the best side to win the league. And although it hasn't been a classic performance here, I don't think anyone would begrudge them doing the double here.
Only the 4th team this century so to do, remember, and only the 6th team in the entire history of the game. And something that even the great Sir Matt Busby didn't manage. Well, if he's up there now looking down on the new Busby babes, I'm sure he'll take great satisfaction in the achievement, even though he was not the first to manage it. We have now moved into stoppage time, and Manchester United are about to make history here when David Ellery's final whistle blows. But Chelsea go forward one more time with Cascarino, and now Wise. Peacock. Leaves it to Wise again. It's a good run by Wise, a brilliant run. Sinclair plays it forward, no offside. Cascarino! And Schmeichel denies them even the pleasure of a late goal. Brilliant run by Dennis Wise, their captain, to set things up then. Now, good to see the Chelsea fans still getting behind their team as Wise comes over to take the corner. I think they appreciate that Chelsea on the wrong end of this 3-0 scoreline. Newton did well to win it back then. Hobble with the cross, and Keane heads away. It's another corner. Minute and a half of stoppage time played now, as Bruce heads away, perhaps one last time. Hobble. And nowhere to go really for these Chelsea players. Newton slips again. Hobble doesn't. Not just the footwork, perhaps it's the nimbleness of the foot that counts. As Cascarino heads down into the danger area, and that's an excellent shot by Spencer, which was brilliantly saved again by Schmeichel, determined to keep the clean sheet.
Well, that really was an excellent save from Schmeichel, because Spencer turned so quickly and struck that, and it really was an excellent reflex save.
Isn't it ironic that even at 3-0 down, Chelsea have actually had 3 chances in the last few minutes to score and still haven't got a goal? And maybe United are going to get one to round things off here, because Ince is onside and lays it on for the substitute to score, and Manchester United's victory is complete. Brian McClare will go down in history as the scorer of that goal. Everyone who saw it will say it belonged to Paul Ince.
Yes, it was a superbly timed run from the middle of the field, and then Ince knew exactly what he was doing. He looks up, knows he's only got the keeper, nobody can catch him. Keeper thinks about bringing him down. Now he could put it in the acute angle, but does the unselfish thing and gives probably the simplest goal that's been scored in an FA Cup final for some while.
Celebrations on the Manchester United bench. Ince with a superb run brings about a 4-0 scoreline now, which you've got to say is desperately unjust to Chelsea. Manchester United have made the most of their little bit of good fortune in the second half, and maybe they're not finished yet. This is Hughes. Dispossessed, falls to the ground in agony. I think he got a bit of a blow in the face as well, and the scoreline moves on to 4-0, and that's where it will remain. The final whistle goes. Chelsea's players sink to the ground in agony. Alex Ferguson is on his feet in delight. Hughes is still not emotional, he's injured. He dared to dream of them. Then he went on to Norwich, and then Manchester United. 2 league titles he's won since then. The Cup Winners' Cup in Europe, the FA Cup, the League Cup. A magnificent 7 years, and it will be rounded off now with the FA Cup again, and that means, of course, that United have not just won the big day here at Wembley, but they've completed the most famous League and Cup double in sport. Manchester United, champions again.